Didymo, as you look at a rock or rocks on the bottom of stream or river, looks like a brown algae. It will have tendrils, meaning there'll be parts of it that are hanging downstream off of the rock. And the strangest thing about it is that most algae in rivers, when you touch it, feels slick, feels slimy. Didymo is like taking hold of a piece of your shirt. It's dry, it feels like cotton, it does not have any of the slimy feel to it. But if there are any questions at all, both Vermont and New Hampshire, take a sample and send it to the Departments of Environmental Conservation. They will test it. One of the things about Didymo is that we should get a major bloom, is that it is so thick that it shuts off water flow underneath the rocks, which is where the aquatic insects and macroinvertebrates and fish eggs live. And in order for them to be successful, you have to have water going all the way around the rock, because they rely on oxygen just the way we do. And they all have gills of one variety or another. And if the Didymo gets too thick and shuts off that water flow, you've just reduced that habitat quality to the point where you can in fact have, die-offs or insects or other macroinvertebrates just move out. That's the bottom of the food chain, if you will, for fish. And if the food's not there, then in fact fish won't be there either. Yeah, Didymo was first identified, I believe it was 2007, in the upper Connecticut River up around the Connecticut Lakes region, where the river is small, cold water, and it is a destination fishery. It is believed, and this is speculation on everybody's part, that it came because people who come to the Connecticut Lakes region to fish are the same people that go to New Zealand to fish. Because the Connecticut Lakes is truly a destination, a world famous destination fishery, cold water fishery. So as a world-class destination fishery, it is believed that it came on somebody's felt bottom waders to the northern Connecticut River. Since it has not only spread to other areas in the upper Connecticut Lakes, but it has now been identified in the White River, which, if you will, is halfway from the Connecticut Lakes to where we are right now here in Putney. And it has also been identified in the Mad River, which is a tributary to the Winooski River and a Lake Champlain tributary. And it has been identified in the Battenkill. Well, in the upper Connecticut River, in a period of about 3 years, it extended its range miles. At least 8-10 miles it went from one small location to being identified along, not everywhere, but along 10 miles of the upper river. What do these all have in common? They're all destination fisheries within the New England area, so that if people have fished in the upper Connecticut reaches around the Connecticut Lakes, potentially they are the vector that brought it into the other rivers where it has been identified. We have never had an outbreak of Didymo to the level that you see in the pictures that are normally shown explaining the algae and its possible effects, because those pictures were taken in New Zealand, where there are 2 big handfuls of Didymo. 3 years ago, the state of Vermont banned the use of felt bottoms on river wading gear. The reason is that the Didymo organism, the algae itself, is comprised of only a stalk and the living part, and it's a very simple organism, very, very small. And one of the reasons that felt works in terms of not slipping on the bottom of a river is that it absorbs what's on the rocks. And that's holding on to the rocks, and the felt is holding on to it. What happens is that the Didymo organism is brought into the felt itself. And unless you put felt into about 140 to 160 degree water with a whole lot more soap and detergent than you would use cleaning your clothes for a period of 20 minutes, or have the bottoms completely dry out, you are a vector. You are a means of moving the invasive from one water body to another. And the easiest way that we could think legislatively to deal with it was to just say no. There are other weighting systems out there. They work just as well, in some cases better. And we wanted people to use those and help protect the waters of the state. There have not been any recent expansion identified of Didymo in other waters in Vermont. The thing about the replacement gear is you still have to be careful. And if you can, you know, dunk it in some bleach between going from one watershed to the next one, which is how guides, myself included, for years have been dealing with the presence of whirling disease in the Battenkill. When you guide, you have people who want to fish the Battenkill and then want to fish a White River or Mad River or the Connecticut River or whatever. And, you know, between guiding sessions, you know, I had a little bucket and poured a little bleach in, poured a little water in, put my waders in there to make sure that I wasn't spreading whirling disease. It can be effective also for Didymo.